speech, enlightenment mind, or is representing enlightenment forms, enlightenment sound, enlightenment space. Space and mind. That is what it represents. So that means when we practice this line fast Dakini, we always try to with the joy and appreciation with the Bodhichitta, kind of having those activated siddhaless status, then trying to really see that every environment is enlightened status. All is purity status. This again, if everything is enlightened status, is not just we're making up according to the teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni or in an ethic. All is enlightenment. 5 aggregators are enlightened as 5 Dhyana Buddhas or male Buddhas. And 5 elements are enlightened as female Buddhas. And every limbs and every activity is the emanation of the 5 male and the 5 female Buddhas. Everything is enlightened. So there's nothing is not enlightened. And why we don't see that now? Because of our dualities. Because of our ego clingings. Because of our grasping or clinging. Completely mixed up. Mixed up. That is what in general Buddhism, this ego clinging, duality, this clinging, all this in general Buddhism known as obscurations. Obscuration is not come from outside. Obscuration is one's own creations. What we created, we blocked by that. It's like cocoons. The thread of the cocoon, not just came from outside, wrapped that. Cocoon themselves trapped it. Similarly, with one own deed, we trap it. This traption is not going on and on. Not just happen now, but according to Buddha's teaching, it started from the beginner's times. And how long is going to last? It's going to last forever unless we reverse that. Our practice and our meditation, all that we are releasing. We are removing that cocoons, that threads. So then what will come? Then it will come the true nature, the beauty, what we're talking, enlightenment, what we're talking. That will come according to teaching. So, therefore, the Vajrayana teaching, in general Buddha's teaching, general Buddhism teaching, in the beginning of Buddha's teaching, is Buddha kind of taught, gradually ushering us to these directions. And Mahayana, Buddha taught more kind of openly about this. And Vajrayana then taught more forcefully and known as the skillful means. Full of the skillful means teaching is Vajrayana teaching, with the wisdoms. So immediately we activated that ordinary nature without waiting so many years or the eons. Immediately really we bring up that. And when we bring this realization as everything is in enlightened status, according to Sutra teaching, general Sutra teaching, it will take 3 countless eons according to teaching. Even that is best, shortest one. It takes a long time. But in the Vajrayana teaching, through the skillful means and our courage and commitment and our devotion and joyful effort, we immediately connect to the nature, the true beauty, immediately. And then beat that. So immediately, even though maybe we have the short glimpse of that realization, but we are connecting that. Due to the habit pattern, it goes away, but we are connecting that. You are directed to the enlightened status. Yes. So therefore, seeing that everything as enlightened state, then we take refuge. Take refuge. So 3 jewels, and that is what. Then I think many of you all know the 3 jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. That is. And the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is, Buddha is the great teacher, like the Buddha Shakyamuni, and the Dharma is the teaching, such as then all the teachings, the Nayana teachings, all the basic Buddhist school teachings, the Sutra Mahayana teaching, Vajrayana Mahayana teaching, all those are known as dharmas. Then generally the dharma has two dharmas, known as the scriptural dharma, realization dharmas. And those all what I listed, those is the scriptural dharma. Scriptural dharma, what it tells that? It tells moralities, it tells the concentrations, it tells the wisdoms. When we activated that, then in your heart and mind, or our heart and mind, that is known as realization dharmas. So we build close connection to the scriptural dharma as well as the meaning of that scripture. Scriptural dharma, again I said, the meaning of that scripture, all Buddha's teaching can be summarized in these three extraordinary trainings. Extraordinary teachings on the moralities, or the disciplines, and extraordinary teachings on the concentrations, extraordinary teachings on the wisdoms. And this discipline is teaching is mainly kind of highlight or focus or highlight of our conduct, where we should act. And then that when we have the good conduct, easily we can also control. We can balance our mind. Easily comes as samadhi, concentrations. Comes. When we both are guided by the wisdoms. Morality, or the conduct, or the discipline, as well as concentration, both are guided by the wisdoms. Then all comes perfect, beautiful. Conduct, discipline is beautiful, and concentration is beautiful. That means meditation and all that, shamatha, vipassana, all the dzogchen practices, all those beautiful, and at the same time glowing, discovering the inner wisdoms. That understanding exactly where things are. Nothing higher, nothing lower, just seeing things. That is Dharma. And the Sangha is spiritual, that who practice it, following that teaching. Sangha community. And the Sangha is also known as source of inspirations, who inspire us, who help us, to teach us to learn. Without the Sangha members, or without generally in Buddhism faith, without the sentient beings, how we can practice of the 6 paramatas? How we can practice the bodhichitta if there is no sentient beings? So for that reason, many great masters in the teachings always say, to get enlightenment or to become ourselves a Buddha, the sentient beings, the Buddhas are equally kindness. Buddha gave the path and show the techniques and exactly, and the sentient being gives training and gives the lesson combination we develop and discover our inner natures. And therefore, even we didn't communicate all the sentient beings, but Sangha members are so beautiful, so special. And also Sangha members, one who hold the teachings. Buddha came 2,600 years ago, and teaching is still here. Who maintained, who kept up that authenticness lineage, as exactly as Buddha taught? It's Sangha members. Their courage, their commitment, their joy, and their devotions upheld that teaching and transferred that one after another. Therefore, Sanghas are so important. They are known as holders of the teachings. So, for that reason, I feel so pronounced connection to all this, which is known as in the Buddhism, three jewels. This is of course translated as a jewel, but in Tibet it is translated Koncho Song. Kon means very rare, Kyo means supreme. This is not just a regular jewel. Jewels are, if you are very rich, you can buy. But this jewel is a supreme, rare jewel. That's what in Tibet used on the ancient time, such as great under the patronage of the great king Tsasum, Padma Samye Ling, and those all great translators. And that's really but so beautiful, accurate vocabularies, Dharma terminologies. And this is one of them again. I mean, these all things, they carry the perfect meaning of the teaching. They not just only make up that things because they thought that, but they also combined all the teachings in different areas. I mean, Buddha teachings and as well teachings of all those great masters such as Nagarjunas, Asangas, and Materials. They had kind of looked all of that and put the perfect vocabularies, perfect Dharma terminologies. Tibet has one of the richest Dharma terminologies in this time because of their kindness, their compassion, and their wisdoms. They put, and even that this Rena or the jewel, not just put as jewel, put Goncho-san. To this Goncho-san, I take refuge. And how long? Until I become the Buddha, until I discover this absolute nature of my own beings, or until the enlightenment of the body, speech, mind, everything in that, I take that refuge. So that is really, of course, you all know, so I don't have to talk so many things. I mean, just remind them, this is generally refuge. From now until I become the enlightenment, no matter whatever situation, circumstance changing externally, but Buddha Dharma Sangha will be always in my heart, and I'll continue to explore, and they are source of my inspirations and guidance and protectors. And so that's, I feel close connected to them. And so that is taking refuge. And then next one is the Bodhichitta. It's just one line, but it's very powerful. Carry the exact meaning of the Bodhichitta. Bodhichitta is the generally intention, our thought, again. But this time, in this Bodhichitta is not intention of the ego clean, not intention of the self-important, not intention of the self-centered mind. Instead, self-important, putting in this intention, all the sentient beings, every living beings are important. More important than myself, even. And we can think that way. They're all important. And now the word there. So therefore, what is the principal root of the compassion, or this bodhicitta? Root of or essence of bodhicitta is compassion and loving kindness. Loving kindness and compassion. This love and compassion is not just a localized love and compassion, it is love and compassion to all living beings. Those we know, those we don't know, those who are here, those who are gone from sight. According to Buddha's teaching, they are not disappeared. They are in somewhere in the 6 realms, somewhere in the samsara. Therefore, we are going to generate this, reaching every good things for every living beings, really, from the heart, from the good heart. This is the word called in sometimes the lineage, unconditional compassion, unconditional love. This is not unconditional love and compassion to localize, but to all living beings. Really sincerely wish good things. And this also bodhicitta has two. Beginning bodhicitta, and when you strong, then activated that bodhicitta, beginning bodhicitta, which is also known as wishing bodhicitta and actualizing bodhicitta. Wishing bodhicitta and actualizing bodhicitta. So that means what? You now develop that signaling compassion and loving kindness for all living beings. That is known as wishing bodhicitta. That attitude, that intention, that pure thought, that powerful, beautiful, precious thought is known as wishing bodhicitta. And that can be a little bit kind of how we practice that. How we do practice of that bodhicitta. That is then great Master Lingpa and everyone say, do practice wishing bodhicitta with the 4 boundless practices. That you all know. Our Buddha sadhana, when we practice, it has that. May all living beings have happiness, cause of happiness. That is loving kindness practice. May all living beings have happiness, cause of happiness. Not just just a feel of love, but we also wishing they have to continually be happiness because of the cause. If you have the perfect cause to be happiness, then it will continue. If you don't have that cause, it will come to maybe short time, but goes away. So cause and condition completely have happiness all the time. May all living beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. That is boundless compassion of the wishing Bodhisattva. The second is, then what? May all living beings have the free from the suffering. May all living beings are free from the sufferings and cause of sufferings. Again, result and cause, wishing both. That is great compassion. Greater compassion of the wishing Bodhisattva. We are activating that. Bring simplicity, not just have vague attitude towards what kind of wishing Bodhisattva, but you're really activating that. And the next one is great joy or rejoices. That is the one. Again, may all living beings have the great happiness which is free from the sufferings. Sufferings. Free from sufferings. Really wishing that that's the greater rejoice. Greater happiness. As you have the greater love and compassion, and they have happiness, and having good times, then you feel happy, joy, rejoice that. Not just a few people, but rejoice. I'm having that all the living beings. The next one is a great balance, equanimity of the, again, wishing Bodhisattva. May all living beings have the great equanimity realization, free from the attachment to the close ones, rejection to the others, as we jump. I'm adding this, may all living beings. That is kind of extra, but that understandable. It is all that happens. And also in some other teaching, also we can say what? May all mother sentient beings always have happiness, the cause of happiness. May all mother sentient beings always free from the sufferings, cause of sufferings. May all mother sentient beings have the great joy, that which is free from sufferings. May all mother sentient beings always have the great equanimity realization, free from attachment to the close ones, rejection to the others. When you join that, when you reflect that meaning, that is known as wishing Bodhisattva. And also when you join and reflect that meaning, how beautiful it is, how really pure, how special. There's no ego clingings and self-important attitude in that prayers, that times. For that reason, in the teaching always, this is one of the great healing practices too. Purification practice, healing practice, and same time accumulating the merit, the good energies, merit of the accumulation merit, wisdom merit, all that comes these practices. It's so powerful. Great Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche mentioned many times. So even just one of that alone, may all living beings, may all mother sentient beings have the great happiness and cause of happiness. Just join and reflect on that meaning and then relax that on that. It's really, itself is full practices. Full practice. Itself is the essence of the mindfulness practice. These days, people lack mindfulness. They're talking about that. They see the benefit of that mindfulness. If you think that way and relax your mind, it will calm down our mind. And that means it calms down all the energies, running consumptions, running thoughts, and the stressful, everything is subsided. All that gone, disappeared. And that is known as the wishing Bodhisattva. Actualizing Bodhisattva is then practice 6 paramata with this wishing Bodhisattva, with the 4 boundless, if I say openly. Then 6 paramatas. Those 6 paramatas, I just listed the names, and then of course you can look into many other books, and as well as the most easy to look the reference is what called Google in. It's an easy way to get all that information, Google in or Zoom in. And those 6 paramatas are generosity practices, morality practices, and then patient practices, and joyful effort practices, constant practices, and then wisdom practices. Those are known as 6 paramatas, but that all based upon these 4 boundless practices. If we have that attitude, that thought, then it will shake up the samsara. Truly. Samsara is duality. Samsara is ignorance. Samsara is ego clinging. And we have those beautiful thoughts. Truly it will shake up. It will shake up or it will smash the samsara. And samsara is this. Samsara means suffering, difficulty, troubles, uncertain, unreliable, then going on and on. That really will shake this by this. So, for that reason, I generate the bodhicitta, wishing bodhicitta, and actualizing bodhicitta. So that is what really about that meaning, bodhicitta. And now, next one, so that at that point, what we finish, completed the beginning noble. That starts. And the last noble, middle noble is then